Kingdom citizen of Wisconsin. Kingdom citizen, kingdom citizen, yeah. Kingdom citizen. Kingdom citizen, yeah. Kingdom citizen of Wisconsin. Kingdom citizen, yeah. Kingdom citizen.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you guys for joining us, tuning in to Kingdom Citizen of Wisconsin. We are excited about you guys being with us. Let me continue to set up so that way we have everything going on. But while I'm setting up, let us bring in the constitutional queen herself on this last Thursday of the year. Constitutional queen herself on
Hey, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I know, right?
Yep.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, how come
I'm hearing feedback, yeah.
I'm hearing feedback too?
I don't think it's on my end, but I could be wrong.
Right. Do you have the show on?
Nope. Pretty good. I don't think it's on my end, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Do you have the show on?
I'm hearing it like 30-second delay there.
I know. So I'm trying to figure that out. Let me go in the settings real quick.
30-second delay there.
I know. So I'm trying to figure that out. Let me go in the settings real quick.
30-second delay there. Oh, it was twice that time. That's weird.
I know that I don't know why the.
Oh, it was twice that time.
Let me see if I got the echo on my. I know that
you have reverb on or something.
I don't know why the. Let me see if I got the echo on. Testing.
You have reverb on or something.
I don't know why. Let me see if testing.
You have reverb on or something.
Testing.
You have reverb on or something.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe it's. Hold on.
Bluetooth disconnected.
How about now?
I don't hear it.
Okay, it was the Bluetooth on my phone.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yes. So, everybody, this is Aaliyah. Let me bring it down.
Aaliyah.
Say hi. Come on, sit up so they can see you. So they can see my beautiful girl. my beautiful queen. Look, wait, say hey.
She's like, no, not having it.
She's not having it. So, first of all, I'm excited that we are here.
Mm-hmm.
And
I just messed it up.
Everybody, I just want y'all to know, she asked me this morning what we gonna talk about. I told her, you're the boss.
I'm the boss. All right.
So whatever we're talking about, it's on her.
Okay. So. Well, I don't know if I'm actually going directly focused on the Constitution, but it might be kind of a roundabout way of getting to it. But yeah, I've been reading a lot because I'm prepping for my I don't know what to call it. It's an in-depth, self-paced university style education without the liberal leftist agenda attached to it. So I'm starting that January 16th. So I'm doing a lot of reading to kind of get myself going and get some information in before ahead of time. And you're gonna hate me because I'm going to be recommending some books. Here's
knew it was coming.
My new favorite.
What is that one?
This one is called the okay, I'm not sure how to say his last name, Bastiat collection. Frederick, he wrote The Law. It's a small I guess essay. It's kind of, I mean, it's a really small book, but this is like a big collection of his writings, and The Law is part of it. He was a Frenchman during the revolution, the French Revolution, and he was watching how America did theirs, and he realized that his Frenchman fellows did not have a very good idea of a revolution, and America did, and so he started writing pamphlets and essays to try to convince his fellow Frenchmen not to hold a revolution the way they were holding it. And obviously, we know how that went down. They held it anyway, and a lot of people were guillotined, and not a whole lot went right in France for a very, very long time after that. But anyway, he wrote a lot of things, and one of the essays I'm going to be reading is called "That Which Is Seen and That Which Is Not Seen," and he deals with the law, and he also deals with like economics and things. So I'm really interested to. I can't wait to just dive into it. But yeah, this is one. Another one is this one. Whoops.
Oh, okay.
Debunking Howard Zinn. This one I have as a library book. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it yet or not, but I'm reading it right now. So most of the history books that we have nowadays are in our public education are based on him. And
Really?
and he literally he basically plagiarized a whole bunch of other writers and took a ton of quotes out of context in order to inform the world that America is bad, everything about America is bad, we're racist, we're sexist, we're bigoted, we're homophobic, and all of those things. And he wrote what he called a history book, and it became a #1 bestseller. It's got a cult following of millions, and it's very, very little of it, if any of it, is true. It's called the People's History of the World, I believe, or the People's History of America. Yeah, a People's History of the United States.
Oh,
And people, conservatives compare it to, let's see, David Horowitz says the People's History of the United States is the Mein Kampf of the hate America left. He was Zinn was a communist through and through. He was just he was just not a good person. But he ended up becoming kind of this national hero for what he wrote, and basically his entire writing is an opinion piece on what he feels Americans need to know about bad, evil America. And yeah, so that's his book is actually being utilized as a textbook, or it's being referenced as a textbook in public school systems today. And it's another way for the public education system to dumb us down, because everybody they read him as a supposed expert historian, and he's not even close to an expert historian. So yeah, so that's another one I'm reading right now, and it's really, really fascinating.
so yeah, I guess I'll be buying some more books.
Yeah.
And you know, I got my what you call it? I got my, and I'm loving my Founder's Bible.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's right. I remember the look on your face when you opened that one.
Yes. So I was
Oh.
like a kid in a candy store,
Yeah, for
uh,
sure.
getting
sure.
that. And so, but you know, one of the things that uh, I've been watching, and this is interesting,
Mhm.
uh, the um, the economic system,
Okay.
and some people call it a theory, but if you look, You got
Mhm.
banks buying up gold, and
Yep.
you got people buying other countries'
Yep.
currencies and everything.
Yep.
And so that means we're about to be in some trouble. Uh, and the thing about it is, a lot of people don't even know or realize or understand. They so stuck on the little stuff that the big
Yep.
stuff is gonna just creep on in, and then they're gonna be like, "What happened?"
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's so funny because until the big stuff started actually becoming a big thing, everybody was focused on what they thought were big things, right? And blowing them out of proportion, climate change and all sorts of, we're going to die in 12 years and fossil fuels and green new deals and stuff. And here underneath all of that, we're seeing governments around the world literally just collapsing because they can't hold themselves up under the weight of their greed and corruption and their godlessness. And it's just a very interesting thing that w- we're worried that we're going to die in 12 years. That's because of climate change. When you just read a history book about the climate and you can see we've had climate change since the beginning of
The-
time.
and, and you know what? I watch uh how we see, you went to uh climate change and all that, but you
Mhm.
forgot one.
Oh, I'm sure I did. There's fun issues out there. What did I forget?
Y2K.
Oh, ha! So we actually were at a family friend's house for that one, and me and the other cousins ended up going down into the basement and flipping the um
Light
what
switch,
not the light switch, the
fuel
we
box,
trip the yeah, trip what is that called? I can't even think of the word. We
the
tripped
fuel
the
box,
fuses. Thank you.
the
Yes, we tripped the
fuses.
fuses and turned off all of the lights, and we got in trouble for it. But yeah, I remember because my dad was working in a job that they were making sure that all of their programs were updated, and we weren't sure what was going to happen. And I'm thinking, it's computers. I People have survived for thousands of years without them. Now we have a lot of our stuff on grid, right? And so there was a lot of that worry that people were going to be without lights and water and stuff. But like, I mean, I'm reading The Little House on the Prairie. They lived on potatoes, dry mealy potatoes and salt pork for an entire winter until the right until the end of it, where they didn't even have salt pork. They lived on wheat and dried potatoes, and they survived. And they had a tiny little shanty with no insulation, and yeah, it was hard and they almost starved, but people worked together in community and banded together. Even if Y2K had been the disastrous catastrophe, I think that would have been a perfect time for America to show its patriotic and pioneer roots and go back to what we were like before computers and technology took over.
But it's coming where America is going to have to America is going to have to show their true brotherly love,
Mhm.
because it's so much getting ready to happen. And and unless you don't have a heart, you can
Mhm.
sit there and watch another person suffer, or you can
Yeah.
reach out and touch somebody. But
Mhm.
who was it that I'm trying to say? um Let me get back on, because I'm hiding. There I am. Okay, so you look at Michael Jackson, right? He
Mhm.
was trying to tell us, we didn't read the codes in the song, but he was trying to tell us, and he says, "I'm starting with the man in the mirror."
Hmm.
Right? He says, in order to fix anything, it starts with you as an
Mhm.
individual, right?
Yeah.
And so, so when you start to look at certain things, and you look at certain songs, and you look at certain movies, and you say, wait a minute, they've been telling us we just thought it was entertainment.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah. There was what was it? There was one about, oh gosh, I think it was done in the 80s where it was literally a movie about a group of elites getting together around a table and discussing how to control the world in a pandemic. In the 80s. Oh no, this random flu virus gets released to the world somehow, and I think in the movie it was actually China's fault. Not that it's China's fault this time for all you YouTubers. China's good, right? But yeah, no, it's really interesting. You look at, I mean, we've been watching different movies that tend to be classics, right? And it just fascinates me how very much the message is out there if you're willing to hear it. And I know a lot of people say it's just Hollywood. They're just, like they're just, and it's just like, but these are the elites in our country. These are the people who hobnob with our politicians, and they're on the inside. Now I'm not saying that there are secret organizations or secret
there it is.
cabals or anything like that, but I am saying, why is that not a possibility?
Okay, let's take this for example. The movie Enemy of the State with Will Smith, right?
Yep.
Somebody out of the blue accidentally recorded a murder. And it was the government who committed the murder, so they had to kill him.
Yeah, they had to get him out of the way.
Right, so they can get that evidence and get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
So Will Smith ended up with the evidence, didn't know he had the evidence. What was the first thing the government said? Let's discredit him. So when he started talking, nobody will listen.
Okay, this Enemy of the State was actually, I don't know if it was meant to be a copycat, but there was I believe it was a Cary Grant movie called The Man Who Knew Too Much. Same thing. He witnessed something he didn't understand and didn't know, and suddenly he had people in the government after him. That was what, in the 50s, 60s?
Yes.
I mean, this is not a new concept, and you think about when, like, the secret, the 3-letter organizations that are supposed to be our security in America, like they actually are force Hollywood to give them the film footage for these types of movies beforehand because they don't want them to get too close.
And what about one of my favorite movies, Persons of Interest?
Person of Interest. The Recruit is another one. How about Conspiracy Theory? Mel Gibson's Conspiracy Theory.
Or The Matrix.
The Matrix, I mean, I'm now again, I'm not saying we're all sitting in infancy or infantile pods with some goop keeping us alive or anything with, things in the back of our neck, but we are living in ignorance. And this was exactly what the founding fathers said. If you live in ignorance, you will be ruled. You will be enslaved, because ignorance leads to enslavement. If you don't know what you don't know, and if you don't know that you don't know it, and that there are a lot of other things that you should know, well, we've got ourselves into a pretty big mess. So yeah, I don't know, it's pretty crazy. I mean, our founding fathers, before Hollywood ever got their hands in the pies, our founding fathers were very prophetic. They knew what they were talking about. You don't need computers to rule the world, right? I mean, this was happening long before. They had elites in government who were pulling the strings of different monarchs in Great Britain and in other areas of the world. This isn't a new concept of having shadow governments or shadow control over an entire nation of people. That's not a new thing. Oh, I'm supposed to keep going. Okay. I'm trying to, I could talk this one out for a while, I guess. But yeah, no, I in the conference that we just did, which was amazing, and I'm going to scold all of the people who didn't show up for it in that conference and in our podcasts and video chats and stuff like that. We talk about this all the time, that that in order to not be ruled and not be enslaved, we have to know our history. We have to know where we come from, and we have to know where we're going. And that doesn't mean that we have to have we don't have to be the man who knew too much with information we don't realize we have about a secret government organization that is going around killing people. We don't have to know all of that. We do have to know that people in power corrupt, are corrupted, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Lord Acton said that, and we have living proof if we just know where to look and where to read and how to learn in order to get the information we need. And then we combine our resources and we start building local communities. The best place we can govern ourselves is in our local communities and in our local families and church organizations and all of those things. Not church organizations, kingdom citizen
Kingdom colonies.
Thank you. I was trying to think of the word. My brain's a little fried today. I've had a very cranky 2-year-old. So, but yes, our kingdom colonies, we do those and we do them right, and we build up those colonies and we build up our communities. That's where we're going to have the most control, and then there's no government on earth that can touch us.
That's right. And if we do it right and we empower the people, and because you're going to need your colony, you're going to need that colony to take everybody to take their talents, their gift.
Yep.
Because everybody don't know how to hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
And you might shoot an animal, but you don't know how to clean it. You don't know how to get it right. So you
don't know how to cook it.
Right. So you need them. And then a lot of us don't know how to garden. So we need them. You know, I mean,
or some of us hate gardening.
I plead the fifth, but
my daughter, I'm grateful. My daughter wants to literally turn our backyard into a garden. I said, I will buy you the seeds you need. I just don't want to do the dirt work.
Right. So when we look at it, right, we have to prepare ourselves, because if we're not ready, it ain't gonna say. See, the problem that a lot of us have is we don't want to read, we don't want to study to get ready. And then when it comes, we want it to say time out. Ain't no time out.
Yeah.
This is real life. It's no time out.
And believe me, I understand the stress that comes with, all these books. If you see, I have not organized my books in a while. I've gotten a whole bunch of them out because I'm reading through different aspects and taking notes and stuff. But it is stressful. It is stressful to think. I mean, what would I rather be doing? I would just rather be reading just for the pure pleasure of it. And I would rather be raising my kids and not thinking about the world outside my door. I would rather be just having people over into my cozy space and ignoring the rest of the world, and I would be fine with that. I chose the wrong profession of motherhood if I wanted to be a hermit, because I love motherhood, and I love that God has called me into this role, and I am so blessed with the children that I have and the husband that I have and stuff. But honestly, if it was up to me, completely up to me in a selfish way, I would be a hermit in a cave somewhere with all of my books, and I'd be perfectly happy.
And you know, when you read, right, and you study, I won't just say read, because if you don't study, then it's not going to do no good.
Right.
But when you study and you finding out new things and you get to share knowledge with other people, that's exciting.
Oh, it is. And that's exactly why I'm not a hermit, because as a hermit, I would get my chance to read endlessly and devour books and devour knowledge and information. But what am I going to do with that knowledge and information if I don't gain understanding? And if I don't gain understanding, what am I going to do when I don't have wisdom and experience and application for it? Then I'm just sitting in a cave with a pile of books and doing absolutely nothing to make this world God's kingdom. And that's the important part. And so, yes, it is a stressful thing. There is a wealth of information out there, and picking through it and trying to find your particular niche is not easy. I'm 38 years old and I'm just now finding my mission and purpose because I spent a whole lot of my years dinking around and not really pursuing the things that I wanted or that I should have been doing in order to do God's kingdom work the way he wanted Sarah Peliquin to do God's kingdom work. But now that he's given me that kick in the pants, the last few years have been a kick in the pants. And yeah, we have to we don't have any options. We either shove our head in a rock and wait for shove our head under a rock and wait for the world to fall down around us, or we actually go out and we learn things and we use our God-given skills and talents to fill the roles that he wants us to fill in his kingdom. For me, that's mother, historian, wife, and there might be other roles that he's going to ask me to fulfill. I'm a politician in a sense. I would consider myself a stateswoman before a politician, but I'm in a government position right now because I'm concerned for my community and I want to make the right decisions for it. In the last board meeting, I was one of two people to vote against a resolution that would take money out of our county and spread it across the state. And they're the people who argued against me and the other nay vote said, well, this is something we do every year, and this is all of the counties are getting together and doing this because overall we want Wisconsin to succeed. Well, how is taking money out of the counties, taxpayer money out of our counties, helping Wisconsin to succeed? Where's that money going? Nobody's asking these questions. So I was one of two people. The resolution passed, unfortunately, because I was only one of two, but I was a nay vote and I asked the questions that nobody else was asking. And that's what we need to do.
You know, a lot of times we don't want to ask the questions. You know, that's just like in the city of Milwaukee, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a long time, and I just found this out, for a long time, they had money to go about and help prevent domestic violence back then.
Yeah.
That money is still going somewhere, but it's not going to help with domestic violence.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and a lot of people don't even know that position is in place.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't even realize that our tax dollars go to the federal government. They get pooled into a massive pot and then distributed according to what people in Washington, D.C. decide that our states get, that our administrative bureaucracies get, that their employees get, that they get, right? So our taxpayer dollars are paying for a multitude of things that they never had any right to pay for. And we talked about this at the conference. I went through, there were, depending on how you look at it, there's between 18 and 20 roles that Congress has as a jurisdiction, as an authoritative enumerated powers. 20 things. That was it. And you find it in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. And that is all the authority they have. There is nothing in there about departments of health and human services. There is nothing in there about public health at all. There's nothing in there about marriage. There is nothing in there about adoption. But the federal and state governments have their hands in every one of those jurisdictions. Those jurisdictions have to do with either ecclesiastical or self-governance.
Yes.
And so we gave so much power to our government that we could just point to the Constitution and say, this isn't in there. You have no jurisdiction over this.
If we don't take time to read the Constitution, then they can do whatever.
Else. If you read nothing else, I would strongly urge you to read your Constitution and read your Bible. You will find everything you need in there. You don't need to read history books this big. This is my job. I'm reading these things so I can disseminate the knowledge for other people. And I'm okay with that. That's my passion.
Do not show me that book. I'm not buying that book.
Thrift books gives you great deals. I'll just say that. And if you buy enough books, you get free ones too. And as a teacher, you can sign up and get free books as well for that. So anyway, regardless of that. So that is my skill and my passion. I will read those big volumes of information and disseminate them for others and tell them about the information. You don't have to buy them. You could get them at the library if they interest you. But the bigger thing is read your Constitution and read your Holy Bible. And if anything else, I would say read the Declaration of Independence, although I'd kind of include that with the Constitution.
Right.
And then read George Washington's farewell address.
Yep.
And read the Magna Carta. And if you want more than that, I would say start reading the writings of our founding fathers,
Yes.
the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist Papers. But that's a great place to start. You do not have to be a politician or a statesman. You do not have to hold any public office whatsoever in order to be a citizen who is actively engaged. And notice I did not say an activist citizen, a citizen who is actively engaged, a kingdom citizen who is actively engaged in kingdom work within the realm and the jurisdiction and the authority that God has given you.
Let's it's the last Thursday of the year.
I'm getting a little excited.
So
you see my crazy eyes.
I know. Let's talk about that for an example, because let's see. Somebody says I need that reading list.
Ooh.
Adrian.
I will post it. I'll post it in the Facebook.
Now I want y'all to know. Don't get her started. Because when y'all get her started, I get broke. But you know, we're going into 2023. And in 2023, we can't do what we did in 2022 or 2021 or any of the past years. Because Einstein said it this way: you cannot fix a problem with the same thing that caused the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we've been doing. And so because we keep using kingdom. So let's have a little kingdom time right now, and really address what we mean by kingdom citizens. Because in order to really be a true kingdom citizen of God, you have to read the Constitution, which is the Bible. You have to understand. You have to know what the rights are.
Mm-hmm.
There she go.
Oh,
okay.
I've got to edit it. Hold on. I forgot that last part.
Oh, she got to edit it. Okay. so you have to. I, as a person, would not want to go into 2023 being religious, being someone that just go to church. Oh, you did it already?
There we go.
Okay, it's still. Did it change?
I just changed a couple things. Oh, it should have.
Okay, let me put the list up and you tell me.
Let's see. Okay, on my end, it's full. Nope, there's still a little bit more to add. I did just send it. Hold on, let me see if I copy and paste, maybe.
Well, yeah, you might have to resend it because it didn't change on this end.
Try that.
Okay, that's the new one.
There we go. That's
there
it.
You go. and so, you know, so when we look at it, we're going to always get beat up because we don't understand our Constitution. We're going to be always trampled on. We're going to be always misused. And the same thing with religious folks, because they steady hollering, God, if it's your will. The will of God is the Constitution. The will of the people is the Constitution of the United States. Yeah. Right?
Yep.
Unless I'm missing something.
So yeah, it was by the consent of the governed, right?
Yes.
No government can thrive or succeed except by the consent of the governed. It wasn't a new concept for the founding era, but it was definitely a concept that no other government had succeeded at. They took the Republic of Rome, and they took in its early days, and they took the Israelites, the early days of the Israelites, when there were no kings, right? And those were the closest they came to succeeding at a republican form of government, a consent of the governed. Of course, the Israelites then turned around and said, "Oh no, we want a king because we just don't want to acknowledge the authority of God, and we need a king like every other nation had," right? And God's like, "Okay, I'll give you what you want. You're gonna regret it," right? And then the Republic of Rome, we obviously know it was a godless, I shouldn't say a godless republic. They had many gods, and unfortunately, those gods were not the God. And so they fell into decadence and hedonism. And when as the Christian nation, as the Christ kingdom rose, the Roman Empire fell.
And you said it. They had many gods, but not the real God.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what hurted them. And that's what's hurting us right now, because you got many churches, they say they serving the same God, but they don't have the same language.
Yep.
The Constitution said one Lord, one faith, one baptism.
Mm.
But we got many.
Yeah.
And so everybody's doing their own thing. And that's why some have already bowed down to the government, because they was not really true to God to stand up for God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the rise and fall, or the rise and decline of the Roman Empire, that was a 6-volume set written by Adam Smith, I believe. It was the history of it's the fall and decline and fall of the Roman Empire. I've got my titles mixed up. Anyway, that was a history lesson on why the Roman Empire fell, and it started from a little bit before its starting decline, and then it went into after, the aftermath of it. But one of the things that that historian actually said was that the church, what he was talking about was the organization, the institution of the church, and that was true. As the Roman Empire declined, the church got more and more institutionalized, because we had Constantine, the Emperor Constantine, who'd basically made it an official religion, and it was no longer than an organic body of believers spread out across the globe. It was they had to have a hierarchy, they had to have a pope, they had to have all of these different man-made things in order to organize and structure it. And you don't find that in scripture. Yes, you find deacons, you find pastors, you find evangelists, but they're gifted to individuals within the church, and they are not above or in authority over anybody within the church. That Christ is the head, and everybody within it is the body. And so we each have gifts and things that we bring to the body of Christ, but we ourselves are not superior to anyone else within the body. And we are all subjugated to Christ as the head. So,
And it's funny, because when Constantine did what he did,
mm-hmm.
he took the true ecclesia
Mm-hmm.
out of the house, because it was in the house.
Yeah.
And he brought it into a building with pagans.
Yep.
And so, so when you have someone that has now, I mean, look at the churches now.
Well,
the churches have it where, see,
here's another book. If you're really interested in the church and everything, there's a lot about him. Frank Viola, I do not agree with doctrinally, but this is basically a history of the church and where we got things like professional worship services and catechisms and getting dressed up for church, and like all of the things that we see. Even the pastorship was not supposed to be the way that we look at it today. But anyway, it talks about a lot of this started during Constantine's reign, where he pulled in pagan methods of worship. The sermon was a Greco-Roman oratory. That's where it started from. You think of the great orators, right? Aristotle and Plato and Socrates, and there's a bunch of other ones. Yes, it's called pagan Christianity.
And you and you know, that is why I'm so glad we are kingdom citizens.
There we go. I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is why I'm so glad we are kingdom citizens, that
Yeah.
we don't line up with all of that
Mhm.
that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because now you hear pastors saying Solomon and Gomorrah was not about homosexuality. It was about violent sex.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
No.
right. And so, and then he tried to use where the men wanted to sleep with the angels.
Yeah.
And so he was like violent sex, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm saying, okay, where's this man really going? And
Yeah.
guess where he went?
Where did he go?
He went to
Maps?
no, you ready? Almost
Okay.
maps, almost.
I'm sorry. It just sickens me that we have a name for it now.
Right.
That is
But-
supposedly yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Right.
Where did he go?
But no, he called it gender love.
Oh Lord. Gender
And
love.
and now they're going around.
What does that even mean?
And now they're going around saying love is love. So love is they're justifying the stuff. And you know why they justifying it? And they're justifying it because they found people who are afraid to stand up for God that will compromise things and say, well, it ain't me, so it ain't hurting nothing. But it is hurting you. Matter of fact, let me show you why it's hurting you.
Yeah.
While she pulling out the Bible, y'all, I'm pulling out the Bible. She doing her thing. I'm pulling
Yeah.
out the Bible.
It was interesting you said that. There's something I just watched today. I don't watch the Daily Wire very often, but there was one on YouTube about the Ben Shapiro interacts with OpenAI. I think basically it's an AI program where you can type in questions and it's supposed to answer all of the questions of the universe, right? And so he asks these basic questions like, what is a woman, right? And I'm not going to give you the answer because that might get us shut down, but the AI was answering according to his or her programmer or its programmer, I should say. It was answering according to the person who programmed it, and so therefore it obviously had a massive agenda. It did not answer the question with an actual answer. It answered in a circular roundabout. There was no actual answer that was given because it was doing somersaults to try to not answer that question because that was what it was programmed to do. So when I was watching it, the first thought I had was, and this is why AI will never take over the world, because it only depends on the insanity of the programmers.
Yes.
Because, I mean, yes, can AI do a lot of damage? Yes, it can, but it can't even answer simple questions because the programmer has to put those answers in there. And the answers that we have right now have nothing to do, there's no basis in truth. And so therefore, it's a completely relative program.
So, all right. Hold tight. Okay.
We're still talking about the gender issue, right?
Well, watch this. In Ezekiel
Hmm.
chapter 3,
Yep.
verse 17, and I'm reading from the Amplified version.
Okay.
It says, Son of man, I have made you a watchman over the house of Israel.
Hmm.
Therefore, hear the words that at my mouth and give the warning from me.
Hmm.
If you say to the wicked, you shall surely die, and do not give him warning or speak to warn the wicked to turn from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at your hands. So if we're not warning them that the direction they're going in is wrong,
Yeah.
and say, well, it ain't bothering me. I don't have to say anything or do anything. I can just go along with it because it's not in my house. But then it goes on to say, yet if you warn the wicked and he turn not from his wickedness or from his wicked way,
Yep.
he shall die in his iniquity, but you have delivered yourself. So if we don't open our mouths, we're guilty.
So which one? What was that reference again? Ezekiel what?
Chapter 3, starting at verse 17. But it's a little more 17 through 20. So here's
I shorthanded it. Chapter 3, verses 17 and following.
yeah, okay. So now watch this. 19 says, if you warn the wicked and he turned not from his okay, wait a minute. I want to make sure. Yeah. So 19 we just read that you delivered yourself. Now, again in 18 and 20 it says again, if a righteous man turn from his righteousness, that's us church. That's us church folks. Turn from his righteousness, is right doing and in right standing with God, and some gift or providence which I lay before him, he perverts into an occasion to sin, and he commits iniquity, he shall die. Because you have not given him warning, he shall die in his sin, and his righteous deeds which he has done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at your hand. And then he closes it out with this. Nevertheless, if you warn the righteous man not to sin, and he does not sin, he shall surely live because he is warned. Also, you have delivered yourself from guilt. So with all this stuff going on and the churches is being quiet and they don't want to step on toes and they don't want to offend nobody, you're putting yourself in trouble. Because we're the watchmen. We're the ones doesn't supposed to go along with everything that's going on. We're the one that's supposed to make sure that everything that we're doing is to the glory of God.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And so, we cannot sit quiet anymore.
Yeah. No, we can't. We can't. And I mean, that goes back to what the reading list that I gave. If you read the Bible, if you read some of the founders' words, they warn of the same things, right? They warn that this Constitution is only adequate for a moral and virtuous people, or it's completely inadequate for any other, right? If we are immoral, if we are base and abject, and we are hedonistic and pleasure seeking and sinners who live and thrive in sin, then this Constitution is just a piece of paper, because there will be no one who respects and no one who reads it, and no one who understands it, and therefore no one to actually restrain the government from doing godless things.
And that's the same thing with the founding fathers when they made the Constitution, because they understood natural law, which was God's law.
Yep.
And they made a written law that you would govern yourself according to the natural law, which is God's law.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we messed up because we put ungodly people over God's law.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why we are in the mess that we are in. And so now we got to go from a local level to restore the righteousness.
Yeah.
We have to go to the local level to restore the true meaning of love, brotherly love, by loving on one another. We got to go to a local level to put people in office that have a good rapport, people of integrity.
Yeah.
And then we can start to undo some of this mess. But if we just waiting until it's time to vote for a president, then even no matter who's at president, if it's not done at a local level, it's not going to get changed.
Yeah, because the whole point is if we get godly, virtuous people at our local levels, then the president, no matter how corrupt he is powerless. He can't do anything, because we've undermined his authority, or we've taken back the authority that he claims to have. And we say no. And so we have local We have local communities who have constitutional sheriffs. We have local communities who have kingdom-minded pastors and teachers. We have local communities who have basically made the public school system in their district obsolete because they have all of their kids taken out and either homeschooled or put through godly private schools, right? That's
Oh,
where
oh,
we
oh,
have
oh,
the
oh.
power.
I got to tell you, I forgot to tell you,
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to tell you, Kingdom Ecclesia Academy, it is so close to opening.
Yay! So excited.
We're just trying to contact 3 different people who have buildings for school.
Wow.
Had a conversation today with Dr. Duke Pesto.
Oh, wow.
We're going to go from K-5 all the way to 12th grade.
Wow.
It is going to be so amazing. And we'll be able to pull kids out of low performing schools and give them one of the best education. And I know we got to take our time with them because they're going from a, how should I say, hot dogs and pork and beans to prime ribs.
Yeah.
That's the difference of the education system.
Yeah. So
And
they're not gonna their palates, their taste palates have not been refined because it's been so inundated. It's like food with MSG, right? It might be crap food, just absolutely disgusting, but it has that element in it that makes you crave more, right? And so
yes,
that's what they're craving it, even though they know it's bad for them, but that's all they know. I've talked to so many moms lately who talk about, well, I've got to follow state standards. I have to keep up, keep my kids up on, where we're with the subjects that they're supposed to get this many subjects done in this amount of time and everything. And they don't want to do that, but they feel like that is the norm and that's how they have to do it in order to succeed. And they are miserable and their kids are miserable. So my encouragement is take the first few months to just let the kids play and explore. Give them
yes.
bookcases full of books, have them read, have them, obviously there's got to be some structure. So you could have times where you pull everybody in and you have a discussion time and have somebody ask a question and then all the kids debate and discuss. I know there's an academy called Acton Academy that they do that, where it's very open-ended, and they have like 8-year-olds leading a discussion forum with the older kids, and just let them unschool for a bit in order to get out of that standardized junk food mentality and into appreciating and having that palate that appreciates and savors the taste of steak.
Watch this. This is besides saying the Pledge of Allegiance, this is the declaration that every child in the Kingdom Ecclesia would say
Okay.
every single morning.
Okay.
And I'm going to use your name because they got to put their name in this. You ready for this?
Yep.
And I will make of Sarah a great nation, and I will bless Sarah with abundant increase of favors. And I will make Sarah's name famous and distinguished, and Sarah shall be a blessing, dispensing goods to others. And I will bless those who bless Sarah, who confer prosperity and happiness upon Sarah. And I will curse him who curse or use insolent language towards Sarah. And in Sarah will all the families, kindreds of the earth be blessed. And by Sarah, they will bless themselves.
Wow.
Every single morning, those kids will be saying that to themselves.
Awesome.
Every single morning. Single morning. So when I see them in the hallway, I'm be like, Johnny, how you doing? I'm great. You sure are. How's it going? Keep it going. Because that's going to be in their head. That's going to be, that's how we feed
You're
them.
speaking life into them, which I mean, yes, are there good teachers in the public education system? I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are people who try to speak life into their students, but
Yes.
they're in an institution that severely limits their ability to do so. And so you are going to be in a private place with a structure that gives you absolute freedom to speak life and breathe life into
Yes.
each child that comes through those
And
doors,
and not
and
only
to their
that,
parents.
they're going to get a healthy lunch like they're at a five-star restaurant.
Woo! Who's cooking? I'm gonna join.
They, they're going to have salad. They're going to have a healthy meal, you
What,
know.
not rubbery pizza
Oh no, not rubbery
and the
pizza.
McDonald's hamburger sort of meat?
Oh no, this is going to be nice, healthy. They're going to know how to use a salad fork. They're going to know how to use a dessert. The
Ooh,
fork.
that could totally be a home ec thing. The kids could prepare their own
Oh,
lunch.
we're going back to the home ec.
I love it.
We're going back to home ec. I got some friends that's going to come in and teach music.
Oh,
Um, they're going back to cursive writing.
oh, I love it.
They are the high school. They're going to learn economics.
Mhm.
Um, but everyone will be a kingdom citizen. And the beauty of it all, no sexuality confusion,
Yep.
no transgender crap, nothing,
No,
because
because you're teaching them their identity is in Christ, and it has nothing to do with immutable characteristics they can't change.
yes, and the school is under the PMA, so we're protected.
Woo!
Yes,
I'm so excited.
I am, and I got some exciting news today. I'm waiting on it to unfold. Then I'm gonna let it out. But
Yeah.
I am telling you that we are on the verge of saving McDonald. I was wondering when he was coming on.
Hey, Jared. Oh,
Yes, but we got some good news today. Uh, we're doing fundraisers for it.
awesome.
Uh, we signed up that we're going to be working at the Brewer games. We're going to work
Awesome.
all 81 home games
Oh, wow.
to raise money for the school.
Wow.
I mean, we are
I mean, you're getting your faces and your voices out in the community, and they're seeing service and
yes,
care, and they're seeing that the ecclesia isn't a bunch of stodgy old white people who could care less about what's going on in the world around them. They're getting involved, and yes, they're enjoying the chance to be entertained at a baseball game as well as serve there, right? Like
yes,
it's so sad because we have this a lot of churches, not all of them, but a lot of churches have this just staid stoic, they're just miserable. You just walk in and there's smiles on the faces, but it's almost like it doesn't reach their eyes. You know how
well,
when
see,
you see
the
a
problem,
child when you see a child and their eyes are just lit up with innocence and wonder and curiosity and joy, right? When
right?
they've found out how to do something, or when they've discovered something, and you're just like, it just lights up their face. How many adults in the church today actually, you walk in and you see their faces light up like that? Like, we
Yeah.
need more of that.
And see, the thing about it is, most people when they, and I hate to say it like this, but I got to tell the truth. Most people when they go to church, it's like an old movie rerun.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on what time of the year it is. The
Yep.
pastor get up and he read a scripture. They already
Yep.
know the title of his message because he done said it 100 times,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
so they don't
Or
get nothing.
it's on the notes page that you get with the fill in the blanks.
Right. So you don't get nothing fresh from heaven.
Yeah.
But
Well, and when we're talking about this, like, if there are people out there who have a good church and they're going there and it's got some of these elements to it, yes, we tease a little bit and we're joking around about this, but there are some people who do get fed in environments like that, and that's perfectly fine. The problem comes is when every environment is like that and there is no expansion of God's kingdom because it's stuck in the pews, right?
Right.
That's where we have the struggle, is that the kingdom of God is no longer expanding throughout every aspect of America because we're sitting in our pews doing absolutely nothing.
Well, you have to understand, they're being taught,
Mhm.
right, to wait to go to heaven.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not. Jesus said, "I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly here on
Yep.
earth." Not when you get there.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna need that life when you get there.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about kingdom citizens,
Mhm.
enjoying the Constitution, which is the Word of God, so we can petition God, because prayer is a petition. And
Yes.
when we go before the judge, we got to know exactly what we're saying, or he'll throw it out. So how many times you think not Jesus, but the Father threw out a prayer because we said, "Father God, if it's your will."
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know my will. Why are you coming?
Yeah.
We're supposed to go to the throne boldly. That means we're coming with what he said about us already.
Yeah, we're claiming his promises because we already trust that they are true and right and good, and that he's not going to renege on them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when we do it like that, we understand who it is. It's just like our kids.
Mhm.
Well, she left. She left me, but
Yeah.
let me tell her I'm gonna do something. She will remind me.
Oh, they don't let you forget.
No,
Yeah.
Jeremiah is 14.
Yeah.
Let me tell him I'm getting ready to do something for him. He will call. Are you coming? Is it
Mhm.
there? Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Did
Yep.
you do it? I'll be like, boy, if you call me one more time, tell me, did I do it?
Oh yeah, they definitely remind us, and what a great accountability is right within your own family. Yet we talk about finding accountability partners. We talk about having peers and mentors and things like that. Our kids are great at that. They're great at holding your feet to the fire and challenging you, right? Oh my gosh, I have to tell you a story. The other day I was talking to a friend about the school system, right? And encouraging her to try something new with her daughter because she was really struggling with it. And I was telling her, we had those same fears with our oldest, right? Because we standardized a lot of her education and we were miserable doing it. She has her own gifts and her talents, and she learns in a certain way and all of these things, and we were actively, unintentionally but actively working against that. And so when we tried this new way of doing it, this leadership style model that was really giving her the responsibility and the expectations and raising the bar for her. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing because in the middle of this conversation I was having with this mother, my oldest daughter comes running down the stairs. She goes, "Mom, I got to show you these notes that I just took from her friends, who is the daughter of this friend of mine, her friend's biology book. She brought it over and she's looking through it and reading it completely with, like, nobody assigned it to her or anything. She's reading this and she's taking notes on biology, and I'm reading through it going, this is exactly what I was talking about. I didn't have to force her to sit through this boring textbook. She picked up a book because it looked interesting, and she literally had some amazing insights, and she recorded them and was so excited to share it with me. When we put children in that environment where we raise the bar for them, we sit outside of our preconceived notions, and we open up the box and let them explore and discover things for themselves, and just inspire them by showing them how to learn, teaching them how to learn, they will run with it. Too often, as parents, as teachers, as pastors, as all sorts of different elements of society, we adults lower the bar for our children, and
Yes.
they will always lower themselves to meet that. But if we raise the bar, if we raise those expectations, not to impossible levels, but raise those expectations and open up the preconceived box that we have them in, they will absolutely run with it and they will thrive in it. I have not had a single day of pained, agonized tears over my children's education since I started this open the box idea and this leadership model. my kids and I love to sit and read and learn and explore together. And we don't just look at a bunch of textbooks and say, this is our standard, right?
Right.
And
And
it is absolutely amazing seeing my children grow and thrive in that. And I am a joyful mother, and they love being with me.
right. And Jeremiah, I give you one. Jeremiah was in school. He was in seventh grade. And the teacher said, I don't understand what's going on with Jeremiah.
Mm,
And she says, you know, he's a student. He's starting to clown.
mm,
And I said, you know why he's clowning right now? I said, I'm gonna deal with it, but you know why he's clowning?
mhm.
She said, no, why? I said, because the stuff you've given him, he knows.
He already knows.
I said, give him something you haven't taught yet and
Yeah.
watch what happens. And she started giving him stuff before she teach it.
Yeah.
And he ate it up.
See,
And
that's
she,
a good teacher, but many teachers don't do that. They're like, nope, I got to keep them with the class, or they put them in a special ed class because they just don't learn the way regular normal students learn, right?
right.
And the whole time, all you needed was to give them a challenge.
And you know how I knew that was about my son?
Because
It's
you know your son.
well, because he's like his daddy.
Yeah.
When I was in the seventh grade, I would skip my math class
Mm,
until it was time to take the test. And I would go take the test and pass.
wow.
And the teacher still gave me a U because I wouldn't be in class.
You wouldn't be in class, but you knew the material. You just
So,
didn't show up for when they were teaching it.
right. So my mom shows up to the school because my mom didn't believe that I had a U in math. Anything else, maybe, but math, no. So so my mom was sitting there with the teacher and was like, why did he get a U? The teacher said he don't come to class. But he passed all his tests. He just won't come in class. And my mom looked at me and said, now why don't you come to class? I knew I was gonna might have got a whooping, but I had to tell the truth. I'm like,
Yeah.
because I know this stuff already.
Yeah.
Teacher was like, no, you don't. I said, yes, I do.
And how are you passing the tests?
So my mom said, my
Mhm.
mom says, leave the room. And I went out the room. And my mom told the teacher, put a problem on the board that you have not taught the class yet.
Mhm.
And she did. They called me back in the room, solved the problem. I went up there within 15 seconds, the problem was solved.
Wow.
And the teacher was like, oh my God, that is why he ain't in class.
Yeah.
He noticed stuff.
Yeah. So why do you have to sit through and listen to it when you already know it, right?
Right. So, but I got a whooping for skipping class, but I ended up going back. But it's just the point. If you know your children, if you take time to, ever since Jeremiah was 4 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
We would stop at the stoplight and I would say, what's that word? Or I look at another word. Tell me that word.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know from age 4, because that's when they started had them read in K4 on up. Everywhere we went, he had to read to me. Everywhere, every time we stopped.
Yep.
Or I gave him a math problem that he had to solve within his head.
Nice.
No paper.
Hey, Patty.
Hold up. Where you been, young lady?
I want to know who's from South Africa. That's amazing.
Yeah, we want to know
Welcome.
who's from South Africa. But Patty, I thought something happened to you. Patty is one of those of you guys that I always say, good morning, awesome woman of God. Patty's one of those. And she haven't responded in a long time. So I'm so glad you're back, Patty. I'm glad we miss you.
Glad to see you alive and well.
Yes. So with the school, and I said that to say that with the school, we're gonna pray for you too, Patty.
Definitely.
We're definitely gonna pray for you.
And Gideon from South Africa.
Reverend. Oh, okay. Welcome.
Welcome. It's good to have you on.
Yes. I was offline for about 6 weeks, feeling better. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
thought you didn't love me anymore, and and you know
We're
because I didn't win the lieutenant governor, I thought you didn't love me no more. And
oh
that's
gosh.
what answered me. Oh, uh no, let me stop. But I'm glad you're feeling better.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but the school is going to be. I'm so excited,
Yeah.
right? Because we're about to empower these children, and then guess what? You ready for this?
Mm.
We're going to have an after-school program, but not for the students,
Okay.
for anybody who want to learn,
Nice.
no matter what they age.
Yeah.
They want to learn math, they can come. They want to learn reading, they can come. They want to learn how to cursive write, they can come.
Wow.
Whatever it is that we can empower the community with, we want to open that door for them,
That's awesome.
that they can come in. Because our children are going to be on point. So we want to help their parents or their
Yeah.
siblings or anybody
Guardians, yeah.
that
Awesome.
want to know. Oh, and I got to show you this.
Just imagine, Dr. King, just imagine when this school, as it takes flight, just imagine what Milwaukee will look like in just 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. Awesome. Woo! But I mean, just think about that. You're raising the next generation, you're educating or you're teaching the next generation to educate themselves and to go out into the world and be world changers and kingdom citizens. Like Milwaukee is going to look completely different in 10 years and 20 years and 50 years.
Yes. And our motto for the school is empowering and training agents of change.
Hmm.
I'm so excited. I got that phone call today from Dr. Duke Pesto. I want to say it so bad, but I'm not going to open my mouth.
We'll find out in due time.
In due time. And the goal is to have the school up and running by September 23 for the new school year.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, that's awesome.
PFA. What's the PFA?
Private. Oh, what is it? Private. I wonder if she meant educational association. I'm not sure what F. Oh, faith-based association. That, yeah, okay.
Private faith. You need to talk to us.
Talk to Amberson Sala.
Yes, you need to talk to us because ours is a PMA.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to talk to us. I feel passionate and faith.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
We will definitely be praying for you.
Yeah, and you just sent me a friend request that I accepted. So you and I definitely got to talk too, because I'm telling you, this thing is getting to a place where.
Oh, awesome! That's awesome.
I am committed. I don't know where Amber at tonight.
Yeah, it's the weekend. She might be in Minnesota.
Oh, she introduced you to me about me in a meeting. Okay, perfect. Amber is. We don't know where Amber is.
She might be with family over this weekend.
Oh yeah, Amber done left us too. Emotional.
No, it's just the new year, and we're just kind of getting ready to drive our way into the new year, and everybody's spending time with family and all that.
Hey, J-Rod, we might can set it up to do the Kingdom Constitutional Summit at J-Rod's.
I'd be all on board with that.
Hey, J-Rod, you think you can host a 3-day event in your place? Because I think it'll be amazing. We'll get us a room up there and everything, but we should be able to do a 3-day Kingdom Constitutional Summit.
Oh, the first one was so fun.
I know.
And I had the whole first day I had a migraine and we still managed to rock it.
Okay, let's see. She's a busy bee.
Yes.
J-Rod said, I'm in.
Yay. Yeah, that was I got even my parents noted just how amazing that conference was. They were just blown away by it. So it was a very it was a God thing. I don't know what else to call it. It was a God thing.
And it's so amazing that I'm headed to Minnesota. I'm headed to Minnesota for the weekend, going to Timberwolves game with my son. New Year's Eve. Okay, awesome.
Fun.
Welcome in South Africa.
This country needs God. Yep.
Now,
every nation, every tribe, every country in the world needs the God of the universe on its side. So
now we can do
that.
We can do the Kingdom Constitutional Summit for South Africa by Zoom.
We could do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Or we can take up a collection and see if we can find a way to get over there. I wouldn't mind going to South Africa.
But if I got to take the carrot, I ain't going.
Oh, that's true. That is true. I don't want to take the carrot.
if I got to take the carrot, I'm not going. So we probably can do it by Zoom.
You know what? We'll just pray for a godly Christian man or woman who has a private jet that could fly us out there.
I know, right? Then we ain't got to worry about it, right?
There you go. Okay. There you go.
So that I do, but as long as I do not have to take the carrot,
comply with regulations.
Yeah. So Gerard, we'll look at some dates, but
yeah, now that we've gotten our feet wet, I'm like ready to bring some more salt tablets to the next country or next city or whatever.
I know, right? Yeah. And I know we can do it in Manitowoc at the Holiday Inn, and they'll give us a deal where we can even stay at the Holiday Inn in Manitowoc. I just got to talk to my political mom. She's part of the Manitowoc Tea Party group.
Okay.
And to break it down the way, oh my God, I was so, I don't know.
Can I say, Dr. King, I've never been to a church where I've never been to a worship service, a ecclesia legislative meeting that was so awe-inspiring and spirit-led, because I mean, there was like you had us interacting and call and answer, and like it wasn't just this sit up front and give a sermon. You expected the ecclesia to be engaged in it, and that was amazing to me. I was in tears when I went back to the hotel that night, because I was just like, oh, this is what I need.
Yes, it's and
I can't do that on the live Saturday morning ones. I can't I can type it in, but I can't actually say something out loud because it only goes one way.
I know. And so when you look at it, right, that's the part of the ecclesia I love, because my goal is never let nobody leave confused. You know how you go to service and the minister preach, and then you leave out confused because you didn't get no clarity, no understanding.
Or you're just like, okay, I don't know how those verses connected at all, and I'm not entirely certain he did either. Yeah.
That's what I call putting a clip in a revolver.
Yeah.
Because they take it and I'll be like, wait, that's not it.
So what do you put in a revolver, Dr. King? Or is that going to get us kicked off YouTube?
Well, you just can't put a clip in the revolver.
Yeah.
You can put some hollows in there, but you can't put a clip in the revolver. I was wondering when trouble was going to show up. But yeah,
He's cutting it pretty close there. We're almost at the 2-hour mark.
I know to really look at how we got our foot wet and
Yeah.
to have that the summit and some people got some of it. They didn't get the whole thing. And
Mhm.
I feel sorry for them because it all
Yeah.
go together. So you can take one part and try to run with it. Like
Yeah.
one guy, he came, he said, "Oh, I got this. Okay, guess what? I know how to do it." No, you
Yeah.
don't.
No, you don't.
If,
No,
if-
you can't just take a part of the meal and say you had a full dinner, right?
right. You
You got
know,
the you got the first course, now you gotta get into that's I mean, that's literally what these summits are gonna be. They're the first course to get you hooked on this amazing gourmet meal, right?
right. And the thing about it is, it's like this. How we say it, how we say. When we was coming up, my mom would say, "You're not leaving the table until you eat everything."
Mm.
Stop just
Oh, yeah.
eating one thing and eat everything.
Yeah, or no dessert until you clean your plate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they come in and well, this is what I want.
yeah,
And they miss the key part because if
yeah.
they would have understand kingdom and they
Mhm.
roll in the kingdom, then they my middle name, what, late? And then they uh
Family life. It's supposed to. Oh, that's
you
funny.
well, Russ, we just gonna say it like this. Should have stayed a virgin, should have never got married. That's all I'm gonna say.
We aren't saying that, you can say that. I'm turning red, come on.
You should have stayed a
38
virgin.
years old
You-
and the word virgin still makes me
I
blush.
know. You should have you should have stayed a virgin and you should not have got married. Then you
Oh
wouldn't have to worry
my
about it.
gosh. Oh, man.
Oh, he wants the Zoom for South Africa.
Woo, awesome.
Let's see.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness, that'd be amazing.
Oh, it's 3 a.m. there. Okay, we will fix it. You do what you gotta do. Inbox me. We will do a kingdom constitution for South Africa.
Sounds good.
I like that already.
I'll have to modify mine a little bit because I'll be talking about the Constitution, but I'll have to modify it to focus
No,
more. Well, I was
no.
thinking focusing more in on why this form of a constitution
Uh,
would be why the principles and all those things would work well
yeah,
for South
somebody.
Africa, not necessarily the
Uh,
Constitution of America.
okay. No, somebody is on from South Africa who wants us to do a kingdom constitution summit for South Africa. Sarah said, I'm telling Rosie.
Okay.
Sa-
Hi, Rosie.
She said, "Hey, Rosie." Sarah said, if we could find somebody with a private jet that could fly us to South Africa and we ain't got to take the carrot, then we'd go there. But right now, we're zooming.
Yeah, we haven't found the private jet yet.
We ain't found the private jet. I don't know. J-Rod might got one, though.
Ooh.
J-Rod might got one. He might just didn't show me that part of his land.
Might not have that yet, or has
No,
it in secret.
he got it somewhere. He just didn't let me in to see uh his private jet. But I know he got one. J-Rod got one. But when we talk about the summit and all the information that went forth and
Yeah.
the fellowship,
Oh, yeah.
the breakout worship out of nowhere and
Impromptu. That was another part of
yes,
it that I was just like, "Oh, thank you, Jesus."
I know, right?
And I'm
Even
not saying that in the Sunday school sort of way. It was literally, "Thank you, Jesus."
even your dad was standing up there singing,
Uh-huh.
and
Yep.
and I'm sitting there like, wow. And then your mom said, I don't think we'll be back after the first night. I
Yeah.
don't think we'll be back. She
They had
was
to
there
work.
every day.
It was, yeah.
She was like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be there. So it's amazing on what it looked like,
Mm,
how beneficial, and how everything went together.
yeah.
That's the part that I love the most.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely it was nothing but a God thing. It was just yeah.
Yeah. So those in Milwaukee, you missed out on your blessing.
Uh-huh.
And so uh I try to
But
get people.
we are serving the God of second chances. So you have other opportunities in the future.
Look at this.
Nice. Wouldn't be taking a train to DC this weekend. That's funny.
Well, I don't know. You might don't want the liberals to know you got one yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. But
Yeah.
I know Kim is working on somewhere in Madison. Maybe we'll talk to Pastor Rogers
Okay.
or even Pastor Steve, because Amber's taught at Pastor Steve Church.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
She spoke there. So maybe we'll
Okay.
talk to him, or maybe we'll talk to Pastor Rogers so we can do the one in Madison, and then we'll go up to Westby and do one with J Rod. I call
There we
him
go.
Bishop J Rod.
There we go.
And so we definitely got.
Amber's on. Woo! Nice.
Well,
Ah.
we knew you was doing that. We already knew it. We know you. See, we know you, so we already know what you was doing. Just don't bring up. There's a code word that you and Stacy them cannot bring up on the show ever
Oh,
again.
come on. She's going to bring it up now. Or I'm going to.
I figured that.
North of 29. Is that anywhere near the pine cone?
Oh, see, you wrong. You wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. How about holding one north
North
of
of
20?
29. That's I
Oh,
took-
that's a. Oh, Patty, we'll come up. We'll come up that way.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
up.
you can.
That's up by Shell Lake and
Okay.
right. Are you talking about up by Shell Lake and where's the other place we went? Patty, what's the other city we was in besides Shell Lake when we was up there with you?
You know, this could be so cool for a community thing. Having the community, like the community that invites us in, do kind of the planning of the building and the lodging and food and stuff, and then we come
Oh,
in and we can
Washburn.
do the summit and stuff. That would be awesome.
Washburn, Barron. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Spooner. Okay. I'm game.
I'm game to go all over Wisconsin.
Amber, we're speaking for you. And so I know you watching. We're speaking for you.
We've got one planned in South Africa. We have one planned in Westby. We have one planned in Madison, and we have one planned in north of 29. So
Yeah. Yes. So I'm telling you guys, though, that is going to, wherever we go, it's going to bless those that's in the house.
Mhm.
It's really going to bless those that in the house. And I might even bring one of the musicians to
Ooh.
come and be a part, so we have the same feeling that we did at the
Mm.
first one. And I know either one of them will come, because the one on the guitar also played the keyboard too.
Awesome.
So I'll stay off the drums because I know I ain't no drummer, but
Hey, you made it work somehow.
I know, right?
See, it's a God thing. He told us to make a joyful noise, not a beautiful one, but he's responsible for making it beautiful, right?
Hey, I just made a noise.
It worked.
It
It worked.
worked. And so, so when we look at it, especially going into 2023, we want to empower as many people as we can in
Yeah.
2023. We don't want to leave anyone ignorant.
Yeah. And this
Um,
isn't just for people who want to get involved in politics. It's not just for pastors. It's for us lay people who really need to be we need to know what our freedoms and our rights and our constitutionally not granted but constitutionally protected god-given rights are, so that we know how to respond when our government tries to take them, right? um and the amazing thing is that it has kingdom perspective written all over it. Our founders were kingdom perspective founders. They did not erase God from their from any of their deliberations, any of their creation of the Constitution or anything. So um it fits so well. And the first summit was just such an amazing, just it was a God thing. I have no
it
other word
was.
for it. It really was.
And for it to be a God thing and to go in a in a sense that it went, right? And
Yeah.
because all what a week before when y'all hijacked me in this meeting
We hijacked you.
and
We bribed you with pine cone.
I, see, there you go. And and we're trying to figure out how it's gonna look,
Yeah.
what it's gonna look like, how we gonna do it, who's gonna go first, who's on second, who's on third. Uh,
It went like, it was so amazing how it just it didn't there was no breaks, in a sense of, like, you know how when you read a book and something in the book just pulls you out of the story because it's like nails on a chalkboard feeling. That's not the summit. The summit was just so smoothly intertwined, intermeshed, everything connected so well, and you didn't feel like you were being pulled out of the story. You were being written into it. It was so fun.
yeah, and everybody engaged.
Yeah.
That was the. It
Oh,
wasn't like you guys did what you did, and then any question, and it was crickets.
right. Like, seriously, I mean, you think about it, we could have just had the Q&A and we would have gotten just as much. Like, I mean, it was so amazing because people asked the questions, and a lot of them were part of the summit itself, but the questions were just they were so perfect and so aligned with where we were heading and what we were trying to get across. They were very intelligently spoken, and it was, yeah, it was awesome.
Yes,
I was
that
so glad to meet you, Lindsay. It's so fun, like, talking to people on here and then actually getting to meet them in person was so amazing.
yes, and, and Lindsay, hold on, hold on.
Your pie?
You guys, Lindsay got her black card.
Sweet potato pie.
She got her black card, guys. This woman made one of the best sweet potato pies I had in a long, 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 long time. Lindsay, you got your black card. I mean, oh my God. I'm telling you, it was so good. And it was now don't take this wrong when I say this. And if y'all do, it's the end of 2022. I don't care. But anyway,
Resolutions.
I know it was so much of the reason I say black card is because her sweet potato pie was a black sweet potato pie. I mean, it was heavy. You know how people make pies are so light?
Yeah.
But it was heavy.
It had
was
substance.
Yeah, it was actually oh my God. And when you cut into it, all I gotta say is, girl, that sweet potato pie was the bomb. Oh, Now you got to make another one and bring it to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
that was, man, that sweet potato pie. She made 2 of them too, and
Mm-hmm.
uh it was the bomb. That's all I could say. It was the bomb, and I am honored that. Yes, it was better than the pumpkin. I'm telling you. I don't know what you hiding, but you got that black card. You got soul, girl. That, that was good. That was amazing. But but the summit, I'm telling you, it was,
It was refreshing.
yes.
Yeah. And I think for me, it was strengthening because this journey is going to be tough. Like it's going to be a battle and it's going to be a war. And there you go. Oh, do it. You should do
There
it.
you go. There you go. Do it. That's your ministry now. Sweet potato pie. And I tell you this, who pie is in the store? Is that Gladys Knight?
I don't know.
Patty
Mark
LaBelle.
Stewart. Oh, okay.
Patty LaBelle got a sweet potato pie in the store.
Okay.
I would put Lindsay's sweet potato pie up against Patty LaBelle. That was good. That was really, really, really good.
Nice.
I told your mom, I said, you're one of us now. So any Saturday, and I won't be shocked to see her walk through that door one of these Saturday mornings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so
I'm really hoping and praying for that.
yes, I am. I can't wait. She is more than so welcome to come through that door.
Good.
And I treat her like my mom. She'll be
Thanks.
great. She'll be well taken care of coming down there.
Good.
And and see, this is what I'm talking about. Everybody made it look like it was Milwaukee is one of the most scariest places. And
Hey, you kind of encouraged that, telling us about safe ATMs to go to.
Well,
I hear you were trying to scare the bejeebies out of us.
No, what I was saying was, don't go to the ATM at night, a white girl in the hood. Because they would have thought you was getting money to buy drugs. Okay. I'm not saying you would have got robbed. They was going to try to sell you drugs.
Nice. Great.
So
that didn't feel any more comforting, Dr. King.
I know, but I was just telling the truth.
I know. No, it was wonderful. I did not feel in danger or scared at all. I felt the spirit of the Lord moving, and it was just amazing. It just
And make it so bad. I called Lindsay them to see where they at. They in the stove. They done found the stove. Her, Stacy, and Amber, they all in the stove. And I'm sitting there like, where they at? They in us. I'm like, y'all where? They was in the stove. And they was in the stove in the hood.
Oh gosh.
And I didn't want to tell them where they were. I wanted to see.
They were fine. They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. But I wanted them to experience it for themselves. Because if I would have said something, then they would have been nervous. Somebody walked up. Did you tell Rosie? Did I tell Rosie? Oh, about the store. Yes. Yes. She know about that store too. But yeah, they I wanted them to experience Milwaukee for themselves. That it ain't what the media try to make it to be. That just because you white, you come in and all of a sudden you're gonna get robbed. And what they won't tell you is there's a lot of whites living in the hood that moved
Mhm.
back into the hood. Now, if they trying to buy it up, that's a different story. But they there.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad, and you guys got a chance to go to El Greco. So I
Oh
was,
my gosh. Yeah, the food was amazing. The company was absolutely a blessing, and yeah, I would do it all over again.
yeah, and the restaurant, they treated us so well.
Yeah.
So they always take care of me. Anybody
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for me, they know I'm at El Greco. So they
Nice.
know. And then where else did we go? Panero, right?
Panera Bread, yep, we went
Yeah,
there.
Panera
Mhm.
Bread. Yes. And so, and I had to trick y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah, it worked.
it did.
Y'all thought y'all was gonna be in sharing rooms.
Yeah, you. Here, I got my own room. Do you know how much of a blessing that is for a mother of 5 to sit in her own hotel room and just like I get choice of 2 beds, or I could sleep on the floor if I want because it's all mine.
Right.
I came home and that same night my 2-year-old was in bed, like literally plastered to my side. I can't get him to detach from me.
You saying, "Oh my God, look at him."
Can send me back, send me back.
Yes. And so, oh, she laughing, sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
But
Ah,
yeah, I was like, I ain't gonna say nothing until it's over.
yeah.
Because I
Well,
already
it
knew
was
what
very
we
much
did. I already
appreciated.
knew what we did.
Yeah.
So
It was very much appreciated.
yeah. And Isaiah was a blessing to take care,
Mhm.
make sure everything was straight while we was at the church. And that's
Yeah.
why I was like, when you sent Amber the text, I'm like, Sarah at the hotel? She was like, yeah. I'm like, how she get in the room?
You had an amazing guy who came and rescued me.
Oh yeah, Isaiah, he's
Yeah.
something else, and I'm so grateful.
Well,
But
I was very grateful, and I was again, I was floored because that night, that first day of the summit, I ended up with a massive migraine, and I have not gotten one of those for a very long time. I could feel it building while I was speaking, and by the time Amber started talking, I'm like, I can't be here anymore. But it was, and so I was so like I was disappointed, but it was just like the whole group came around and prayed over me, and somebody found me ibuprofen, and my parents drove me back to the hotel so I could go and clear my head and get better and everything. Usually those migraines will last for 3 or 4 days. It was gone by the next morning, and I'm just it again, a God thing. Like
yes,
there's no other way of describing it. He is so big and so good, and it was so inspired by him, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it.
all right. So here we go. You have as much time as you want to reflect on 2022
Okay.
and what you expect in 23.
Oof. Wow. Okay. Interesting. All right. So, oh gosh. So 2022, when it started, I have to be honest and say I felt like it was just a continuation of the last 2 years. It was very discouraging. It was very um it felt like a very, very heavy weight going into 2022. And I mean, that's even with trusting God. I mean, it wasn't that I was not trusting him, but it just felt like we were in a very dark, dark space. And at the beginning it just felt like when are we going to start seeing the light? When are we going to start um seeing God's hand at work, seeing that light in the darkness that he promised he was, right? I mean, that's the whole story of Christ coming to earth, was he became the light in the darkness. He was the light in the darkness. And he still is. But it's just sometimes it's very hard to see when you're right in the middle of it and you're blinded by that darkness and blinded by everything going on. And so it was kind of a perspective shift at the beginning of 2022. It felt a lot like, okay, we know this is dark and we know this is bad and we know there's a lot of hell going on. But it was really having to step back and take some, like, I almost, in a sense, almost close my eyes for a few weeks and just kind of shut out the world for a little bit. And then when I opened my eyes up again, it was okay. Now I can see where those pinpricks of light are, right? Where God's shining through. It's not fully dark here. There are good things. There are good people. And yeah, just it was just such an eye-opening experience. And getting on this podcast and just being a part of something bigger than myself. I mean, I ran for office and I got in and saw that happen. And um there was just a lot of that where there was just little pinpricks of light and little places and moments where I could just step back and take in that perspective and go, God is still in control. He is still on his throne. Um, and I am part of his kingdom. And so therefore I'm going to have my hands open and my eyes open and my ears open to see and hear and do what he is asking of me. And so yeah, so when this summit started getting put into the planning and everything, it was just like I could just it's I'm ending 2022 feeling light in heart and spirit. And that's not to say that the darkness isn't still out there, right? We're still, I mean, we're not sure how dark it's going to get before it gets it gets better, but we're seeing more and more communities and families pulling together. And this podcast and talking about the Constitution and finding our mission and purpose. To me, I call it my sweet spot. This is my sweet spot. I thrive in it. I feel like I'm glowing from within, and I feel like that's God's light shining. And if we can all choose to be that for the coming year, find your sweet spot, find where you are. If it's making sweet potato pies or or bringing people to the pine cone treats,
See,
or
there you go.
or if it's planning summits, or if it's starting schools, or if it is running for office, if it is building an ecclesia. Sorry, I keep using the word church, but I mean ecclesia.
Mhm.
Whatever it is, if it's building your family, if that is the sweet spot that you need to be in, to sit in and build your marriage and let God be at center and grow your children and disciple them and walk with them through the hard things in life. If that's your sweet spot, then let that be the place where you are in 2023. Not everybody is going to run for office. Not everybody's cut out to be a president of the United States. I mean, we can see that right now from the one run in that office. So, so yeah, it's finding your sweet spot. You will hear so many people say, you need to be doing this or you need to be doing that. That's not the point. One, I will go back to: read your Bible, read your Constitution, read those other documents that I listed, spend time learning. And if you need to take a break and just learn how to learn, a lot of us are still, it takes a little bit of time to kind of unschool ourselves from all those standards and things that we expect, and just sit in that and watch God move you. And I'm looking forward to 2023. I'm looking forward to it in such a way that I'm just waiting to see what God does and where he moves, right? Because he has already proven himself faithful. He has proven himself true. And I've seen that just at the beginning of the year. My health had tanked and I was trying to work on fixing that. And at the end of the year, I'm ending with energy again. I'm ending with family reading times and finding a body of Christ that is so full of the Spirit and so moving in the world and making a difference in their little places and communities and families. And look for those things, because nobody can miss the darkness. We know it's there, right? But start looking for those pinpricks of light. Start looking for those people and those communities who just shine with the light of Jesus. And I guarantee you will find it. And 2023 is the best time we have, because it's coming up. We've got a couple more days and we are in 2023. Make this the year that we look for the light of Jesus shining in the darkness.
Well, let's see. Started off 2022 running across this state and saw a lot of things that could have made me disappointed or sad. But what it allowed me to see was the hunger that people had for righteousness, problem solving.
Mm.
But what it also showed me that we have too many religious people trying to get in politics, and they doesn't line up with God. They line up with the politics, and so we're no effect
Yeah.
to our state, our nation. Watching the how should I say? They don't call them protests; they call them rallies, but they still protest. What?
The mostly safe but peaceful.
Yes.
Yeah.
The mandates and the masks and the mask and the and the medical and
Yeah.
and everything. And so when we look at it from that, all that fighting that we did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then November comes and all of our fighting was in vain.
Yeah.
Because people, their pride and everything. Hey, I'll call you as soon as my show is over with. Let me see my new grandbaby first. Oh,
Gotta have a grandbaby picture.
look at Ezekiel.
Aw.
Wait, hold it, Patty. I mean, Via, hold it. Okay, I got the picture.
Let me see your picture.
Yeah, send me one.
Okay.
Bye. Love you. So, brand new. Oh, I got a brand new grandbaby. He is almost a month old.
Aw,
I know.
beautiful.
Oh, is he a month old? Close to it. Time is flying. But I watched us, because we moved God out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
it was in vain.
Yeah.
And all that we got out of it was a treasurer, someone that has no authority, someone that has no power, someone that can't do nothing.
Yep.
You know, when we had an opportunity
Yeah.
to get the office of the Attorney General,
Yep.
the governor's seat, we could have got better candidates to get Congress seat,
Yeah.
but we didn't because of pride.
Yep.
And so going into 2023, I see the remnant. I see the true ecclesia coming forth. I see real hope, not artificial hope,
Yeah.
moving forward. I see the empowerment not of the children, but empowerment of adults and different people coming together to travel with the summit. I left out of 2022 with a book that's being read that is now in 14, 15 states.
Yep.
I'm speaking at a conference in March, and people all over this country will be there. And they brought my manual that I written last year, and now they're going to purchase the books. That they
Mm,
told me to bring the books so you can sell them there. So to get our message out is what I'm loving, right?
mhm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Because that's what I'm saying. The message going forth,
Yeah.
warning people about stocking up, right?
Yep.
Make sure you got food. Make sure you got water. Make sure you got ammo. Make sure
Mhm.
that you can take care of your family in every angle.
Yep.
And Mike got in trouble for saying ammo, but I mean you have to make sure, because the reality of everything is everybody is not law abiding citizens.
Yeah, exactly.
And just because there's a set of rules for us that they don't even play by,
Yeah.
we have to look at it and understand. Uh, I got to be ready for any emergency ever.
Yep.
And so and they don't like when pastors talk like this, but
Mhm.
I mean I'm a 21st century Black Road Regiment, so I'm gonna talk like this.
Yeah.
But I also see coming out of 2022, I'm grateful for the podcast that we do.
Mhm.
I'm grateful for the family of the Dark Horse, the Dark Horse,
Yeah.
for helping me get my podcast up and running.
Mhm.
I'm thankful for this bully that I ran into in Black River Falls that asked me, "What do we live in?" You know, and I guess they thought I was going to say democracy, but
You're
but
too
they
smart for that.
but thank God I didn't say democracy, because I would have got beat up in Black River Falls. So
Yes, yes, and not physically, but with words. I've got lots of words I could have used.
oh, I bet you was ready. You had it
Oh
cocked
yeah,
and loaded.
I had my arsenal.
Yes. And from that, I think about uh and I don't want to call names, because if I start calling names, I'm gonna miss a name.
Yeah.
But I thank God for the people in Milwaukee County, Jefferson County,
Mhm.
Kenosha County, Jackson County, Juneau County,
Yeah.
all the counties, because I ain't gonna miss none, and then somebody be mad at me. Uh, I had to go back up to where is it at?
Wanakee?
No, not Wanakee. I was up
No.
in Wanakee because my son had a basketball
Oh,
tournament.
okay. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, because
Yeah, I had no idea that bullying a candidate was going to get me on a podcast as a co-host.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but where did she put it? Uh, dang, I can't find it now. I know she didn't delete it.
What are we talking about? What Patty was saying up in St.
Yeah.
Croix, Barron, and Washburn?
Oh, there you go. All of them counties,
Yeah.
and it's so many things that the connection that God allow us to make.
Oh my
That's
goodness. Yeah.
that is the most important thing.
Yeah.
I got a new brother in Westby, J Rod.
Yep.
I got a new bodyguard in, what is it? I think he's in Portage County,
Mhm.
Kevin Nutt.
Yeah.
And I have a crazy bodyguard in where is he? How do you say it? Pepin. And Pepin. You know why I call him a crazy bodyguard?
Why?
And I'll tell you who it is in a minute, but you'll guess it yourself when I say this.
Mhm.
I was doing a barbershop real talk, and he drove 4.5, 5 hours to be at that barbershop
Wow.
real talk. I call him my crazy bodyguard, because if he drive 5.5 hours, he crazy enough to do anything if somebody mess with me.
Yeah.
So you know who I'm talking about?
I've got a guess, but go ahead.
Go ahead, give me your guess.
Well, it's either, let's see, I'm trying to think, Rustin or Ed.
Rustin.
It was Rustin. Okay, yeah.
It was
It was one
Rustin.
of those two.
And then my crazy bodyguard drove his whole family down here to be at the book signing.
Mm,
That's
cool.
what I call those are those are men that God put me with that I'm grateful for. Terry up in Shell Lake, who's my prayer partner now. We call and pray with one another. Uh,
Wow.
it- it's so much
Yeah.
that I look at Luke, who traveled the state with me.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, who wouldn't talk, but now is a UFC fighter.
He's your silent partner.
Yeah, a silent
Yeah.
killer because
Yeah.
I mean, he's kickboxing, he's in the
Wow.
boxing arena and stuff.
Wow.
Destiny, who
Yeah.
traveled the state.
Yeah,
These
I mean, that's such an amazing thing. Like I said, I did not imagine that challenging a candidate was going to get me an entire family. I mean, that's what I can't call you guys anything else. You men and women who are on here discussing and talking with us and listening to us. I mean, the connections that we've made, and because what happened, we said yes to God, right? I mean, that is literally what it comes down to. Is God said, are you ready for this? And we said, okay. you know I mean, i I can't tell you how many candidates that I had asked that question of, and none of them answered the way they were supposed to. And then I get one candidate, and he's spot on, and he's like, of course we're in a constitutional republic. Where else would we be?
unless I'm crazy one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and it just, and that opened the door, because God was ready to use me in this way, and I'm sitting in my mission and purpose, because that's where God has been training and doing soul surgery and doing all of these things to get me to this space. And that's just, it's just such a blessing to be here, and it's such an honor to have made that friendship connection, and to see how the body of Christ is going to work, how the ecclesia is going to work in the coming year. And
Yes.
and can I just say one thing? I am so grateful for the husband that God blessed me with. I'm grateful for my kids. I brag on them all the time, but my husband is a man of God. Like, I didn't know when I married him how very much of a man of God he was going to end up being, because he says yes to God and he doesn't even think about it. It's just all the journeys we've taken, the adventures we've been on, and every time Jake was like, "Yeah, we're doing it. We are going to run this race, and we are going to run it well." And he has been a solid partner in this life and this journey, and he's been a solid father figure for our children. And it's just, yeah, I can't end the year without bragging on my husband a little bit, because
Well,
I could not do this life without him.
I, and for Rosie to allow me to do all the stuff
Mm,
that I was able to do across the state in
mhm,
2022, and for her to free me not only to travel but to
mhm.
stop and do podcasts twice a week.
Yeah.
Uh, and I know it was a challenge in the earlier because we would go for 2-3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
I'll come upstairs. She already in the bed asleep because I done been down there all night. So
Mhm.
I'm grateful for and not only that, but I'm grateful that she allowed me to, and I'm grateful to her. I'm grateful to Jake that they allow us to have time together and
Yeah.
talk and do things, and they don't get upset and
Mhm.
um or nothing crazy, right? And
Mhm.
then all of the people like oh, you
There he
know,
is.
there he is.
There's Dad. Yep, you're right. That's Dad.
And you, and all the people,
Mm.
that became part of Team King as I
Mhm.
traveled the state. And uh it it's a amazing bunch of people.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
called Callie. Callie. Kelly Wilson, and I don't know if she's on here, but I call Kelly Wilson a female hitman.
Nice. Nice.
You know,
Yeah.
she snaps, and so
Yeah. That's funny.
yeah, and so you know, and I don't know if Tyra's on here, but Tyra allowed she trusted me with her son
Wow.
to travel the state. A son, you giving me
Wow.
your son,
Yeah.
but not just a son, your baby boy.
Yeah.
You know, Tyra Johnson, they gave me their baby boy. Tracy and Diane gave me Destiny. And to the fact that we was coming off the road late at night,
Mm-hmm.
and they was in the bed. Look, wave at him. See him? He waving. They wave. Say hey. And they,
Yeah.
you know, and I said, I'm so glad that you guys trust me enough to give me your children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And to travel this state. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people doesn't understand the sacrifice that goes along. And
Yeah.
so I thank God for my family
Yeah.
that made that sacrifice. Again,
Yeah.
Rosie had to sacrifice, and I had to not come home some days because I was on the road. But you know, she held everything together, and that's and that's the part that I'm grateful for, you know.
Yeah.
And so we are blessed to
Yes.
have those type of people in our lives, that even we get an extended family, but our immediate family
Mm-hmm.
who understand that we are being led by God to do the things that God wants done.
Yes.
And it was beautiful to have at the summit your family there, for us to
Yeah.
have breakfast together. You
Yep.
know, that was amazing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So
Yeah, I look forward to many more of those.
right.
Yeah. My gratitude bucket is overflowing coming into 2023.
I know. I'm just excited because I don't know what 2023 gonna bring.
Yeah.
I just know it's gonna be good.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I know. It's going to be good.
Yep.
Do you want to say something, Aaliyah? Just say hi. Can you say hi in the mic? Say hi. Come on. Let's see if you can say hi. Let me bring you the mic. Say hi.
Around Nathan. Look.
Okay.
Is she coming up? She gonna say
Are
hi?
you gonna say hi? He said hi. Wait, let me take this off. He said hi. You gonna say hi? Come on. You in school. Say hi. Say hi. As soon as we get off, she gonna want to talk on it.
There she is.
Say hi. I got it.
How old are you?
How old are you? You gonna tell them how old you are? See, that's what we get. But I'm grateful for children,
Oh, for sure. For sure.
you know. And we thank everybody that tuned in to us all
Yep.
this year.
That have supported us. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And we have to tell y'all the story why we got a new intro now.
Mm-hmm.
We was teaching at the summit. And at the summit, we went into the scripture. And the scripture says, keys of the kingdom, not keys to the kingdom. So when I started teaching that, the students, people like Sarah, Lindsay,
Mm-hmm.
Amber,
Yep.
and Stacy
Yep.
says, well, you can't play that song no more because the song said keys to the kingdom.
Yep. Yep.
If you're going to teach us right, you got to do everything right.
Yep. They called us out.
So I'm like, okay, we
Yep.
got it. We had to switch it. So the guy, the gentleman that was playing the guitar, Pastor Walker, created us a new intro.
Awesome.
And so I am grateful that he did it.
Awesome.
You know,
Yeah.
and I got to contact Pastor V and say, okay, you got to redo your song, but you need to change the word to the word
Yep. Yep.
and then we're good to go.
Yep.
Well, I see both of our little ones want some time.
Yep.
So you guys, we will be on next week, the first one of the year. And I think that we're going to have her jump into maybe the Bill of Rights.
Sure. Sure. Should I start back at the beginning or should I go from where we left off?
However, you the boss. And Tuesday night for the new year, we're going to be teaching on ecclesia versus church, citizen versus Christian.
Nice.
And I'm probably gonna make some folks mad, but that's quite all right.
We're not doing it right if we don't make somebody mad.
I know. So I need you guys. Let me see something. I need help. I need help. We got, what's the date? The 29th?
29th.
Okay. So today the 29th, and I need hold on. Three people to go to TikTok. I need 3 people to go to TikTok and follow me, David D. King 790 on TikTok. David D. King 790 on TikTok. I need you to go to TikTok. I need 3 people. I want to go into 2023 with 100 folks. Well, I need 4 people because I want to be over 100. So I need 4 people to go to TikTok, find David D. King, because I'm gonna do a new video between tonight and the morning.
Okay.
But I need 4 people to go to TikTok. Now I need so we can stay out of jail and we stay out of trouble. I need 28 people to go to YouTube to David D. King TV and follow me on what did I just say? YouTube. Follow on YouTube. And then I need people to go to Rumble and follow us on Rumble under let me find it. So much. Under Kingdom Citizens of Wisconsin, and you will see our logo. And we need followers to help boost up our Rumble as well. So, and we do have videos on Rumble because they're streaming from our Facebook and our YouTube page. And once it's over, it'll process over to Rumble. So there's Kingdom Citizens of Wisconsin on Rumble. It's the one with the crown. Also, David D. King 790 on Instagram. David D. King TV on YouTube. I am on Twitter, and I'm under Twitter as all these names. I'm under Twitter at Mill God Squad. Mill is capitalized MIL. Then God, the G in God and the G in squad is capitalized. So far, I have 3,617 followers on Twitter. So you can follow me on Twitter, and I'm also on LinkedIn. So you can follow me also on LinkedIn. Let's get our numbers up. The Dark Horse is going to help me. And we'll soon be on Spotify, Apple, and all the other audio podcasts. So we're about to take it to a whole new level in 2023. So we just thank all of you beautiful people for following us. Join us for our Lord Jesus, our legislative meeting Saturday mornings at 10:30. Also, we will be setting up dates for the Kingdom Constitutional Summit.
Yep.
We're going to do one in Westby. We're going to do one on Zoom. We're going to do one up north. Brother Terry call it God's country.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do one in Dane County. So those are the areas that we're looking, and Manitowoc. Those are the areas we're looking, and we will be setting up dates. The first one probably would be Zoom because one black man is very wise. You never travel in the wintertime up north, or you would get snowed in. But
Very true. Very true.
I know, right? Much times I done drove up there, be like, okay, we got to pull over, get a room, can't go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But we are really grateful. But I'm believing God for you to have a blessed and prosperous new year.
Mm.
I'm believing God that all the crap that doesn't distract you will make you afraid or scared, but that you are really trusting God, not with your mouth, but with your actions.
Yep.
And so we're grateful for you guys. And
Definitely.
South Africa, thank you for coming on and being with us. There was another young lady, let me thank her because she was on LinkedIn. What was her name? Adriana. Adriana was watching from LinkedIn.
Okay. Cool.
So we want to thank you for watching. Everybody on Facebook, everybody on YouTube,
Yep.
everybody on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Rumble. We love you guys.
Yep.
And until next time, we want to say goodbye.
Kingdom citizen, yeah, yeah. Kingdom citizen of Wisconsin. Kingdom citizen, yeah, yeah.